real estate agents do not work. Seriously, I really realized that. They treat it as something part-time.
This the Louis Vuitton man. This the real estate agent right here, and he never miss.
Oh, yes, the orange champagne.
Yes.
Yeah, the orange champagne.
And then I didn't even notice it said rich, y'all.
Yeah, I purposely do that as well.
No,
when
seriously.
I see that, I'm like, they follow me. They watch what I do.
Welcome back to Live High Podcast. I am your host, Tammy Jones, and today I have with me LaStacks.
You know, it's so crazy. My voice always gets really raspy. on
mics.
I'm like, yeah, on mics, and I don't know because I don't sound like that. And then like when I hear it myself with like a speaker in front of me, like, I'm like, you sound like a
yourself.
motor.
I know, right?
But I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, New York till I die.
New York till you die.
I'm very Brooklyn, which is hard for me to like make friends in the South.
Okay.
So that's why all I do is work. Who am I? Is that what you asked me?
Who are you? Who is LaStacks?
Okay, there we go. So honestly, like I'm just that guy. I don't want to sound cocky, but
if you're cocky, just put it on out there. You the
No,
man.
I don't want to sound cocky, but I don't know how to say it. Like my name is unique. My name is a mixture of my mom and my dad's name, Leston, and my name is Leston, Winston and Leslie. So Leslie and Winston, so Leston, and then Eustace is my dad's last name. Okay. Growing up, people used to call me Stacks because I always had nice things. I always had a lot of nice things.
Okay.
So it was like, damn, you got stacks of stuff. So it's
wow.
Like I always had money. Growing up.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like growing up in the hood, you don't really have people who really have it like that. And I grew up in a single household, so my mom was a hardworking woman, like worked double and triple shifts to get me what I want and to give me what I want. So I never really had to like beg, steal, rob, go hungry, borrow, you know what I mean, anything. So like my name, basically like the name Stacks, it really came from like just people growing up, people would just call me that. Oh, okay. Like if you look at my lunchbox growing up, I had like, they would say like you have like stacks of food. Like, because I would have like a sandwich,
that's unique.
A cookie, some chips, a water bottle. So they would just be like, damn, you got stacks on stacks on snacks. And so like, you know, then they used to call me Snacks. You know what I mean? Then some people call me Stacks, and then I think I like Stacks more. So I just like always ran with that. So like when I got older, like my name was Stacks, and then when I moved to Texas, you know, everybody would call me New York.
Oh,
and then I was like, okay, that's cool. And then they would call me Leston, and I was like, I don't even like Leston no more. I like New York. I like when y'all call me New York because it matches my personality.
Right.
And then, long story short, I think I went through like a part of my career where I felt like I needed like a rebranding, and I needed something that was like simple and easy and catchy and trendy. Because like when I would say my name, nobody would remember it. Mm-hmm. So they would call me like Lester or Chester or Justin or whatever name people
whatever they come
up with,
and
you know. And so I was like, you know, I gotta find out something that's simple. And I was like, you know what? I'll just say the name that people know me as. Like everybody knows me as Stacks. All the Stacks. And
I like that.
I just went with it.
We're gonna run with Stacks then. So you say you from New York originally. You came to Texas. Why Texas? Why?
My mom pushed me in Texas.
Why?
New York is crazy.
So where your mom at?
New York.
But she pushed you here.
She's crazy. I love her, but she's crazy. I'm crazy too. No, like New York itself is crazy. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. New York is a different ball game. Like everything's always on 10. Everything you do is top notch. You know what I mean? Like you have to look, and like where I grew up and the people I was around, like you had to look a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way, do certain things, look certain ways, go on certain trips, eat at certain restaurants. Like
It's programmed, basically.
Yeah, that like you really had to, and if you looked regular, you fell off.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, they ain't got it like that. I saw them not today. They look mad regular. They must be broke. They must have ran out of money. You know what I mean? So you got so many people growing up where they have to do all types of crazy things to keep up with this lifestyle or this look
Right.
or this image, because growing up, that's how everybody is. And honestly, I just was like, I like it. I've always liked it. That's how I grew up, but I didn't want to do the things that a lot of people did
Right.
to get there.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, I'm the kind of person that learns from mistakes, you know what I mean? And I pay attention. Sorry, now I got hiccups. And I pay attention to what other people do to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't pay attention to what people do and, like, try to copy them or
Right.
hate on them or bring them down. It's like, oh, okay, you doing this. Okay, cool. And then I see somebody, okay, you doing this. And, okay, you doing that. I am not doing that. I don't want nothing to do with that. Actually, how did you get in that situation?
Right.
Okay, and I'm that kind of person. I take note. Like, whenever I speak to people, it's like organically. You know what I mean? And I learn from a lot of people's situations. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
you know, what did you do to get there? How did you get there? Even if it's good or bad. Like,
Right.
when it's the bad, I want to know because I don't want to make the same mistake.
right.
And if it's good, cool, perfect. I want to know because at some point in my life, I want to be that better person. And let's just say growing up in New York, I don't want to say the sky's the limit, 'cause it wasn't. But growing up where I grew up, it was like certain things was the limit. So in the hood, in my hood where I grew up, everybody rapped, scammed, sold drugs, did music, or did fashion.
Okay.
But that was it.
So when she pushed you here, did she have a plan, or
No.
did you have a?
No.
Are you serious?
No, I'm so serious. It was really to just get out. You know what I mean? Like, just get. But the plan was to, like, not end up. Because I was literally, like, I got to a point in high school where, like, I mean, I was always a good kid. Like, I never been in jail. I never got in trouble. Like I said, I'm the kind of person, like, anybody that knows me, they know, like, I don't do wicked stuff to people.
Right.
Like, I'm a very, very loving
Genuine,
person.
yeah.
Very genuine, very loving. Like, I'm always uplifting. I speak to anybody. I hold conversations with anybody. Like, I was always the popular kid, and I use that to my advantage. My teachers loved me. When my classmates would get bullied, like, I would stop them from getting bullied. When they would get picked on, I would stop them from getting picked on. Like, if we had like, let's say we had, like, a substitute teacher in school, my, like, principal and dean would, like, call me and be like, hey, we know y'all about to tear this teacher up. Please control the class. Tell everyone, be nice to them. Like,
Right.
you know what? You get close to the teacher. If you close to the teacher, everybody will be nice to them. And I always had, like, an influence. And, yeah, I think as I got older, people either started going away to school. You know what I mean? Like, in New York, you have, it's a ton. In New York, everybody's different. You know what I mean? I feel like in Texas, all the boys play sports, and then the other boys trap. But then, like, they still play sports, or, like, they
Right.
play basketball, or their
Yeah.
daddy made them play football. New York wasn't like that.
Okay.
Like, if you was a pretty boy, you was a pretty boy.
Okay.
If you was a fashionista, you was a fashionista. If you played sports, you played sports. You know what I mean? If you was a hustler, whatever it is, you was a hustler. If you was a rich kid, you was a rich kid. If you was a bookworm, you were a bookworm. And, like, that's who you were,
Right.
and you and all your friends did that. And I just, like, I would see some of my friends go off to college, and some of my friends went to jail. Some of my friends died. Some of my friends were in the street. Some of my friends became successful rappers or musicians or A&Rs or in the fashion industry. And I was like, damn, I want a purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to be like them. Like, this
Yeah.
this is cool.
Yeah.
That is fun, but it's fast, and it's exciting, but it's not long term.
It's not long
And I
term.
don't want to be like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when I came to Texas, she just was like, you need to just figure out what you want to do in Texas. Come up with your own mindset. Come up with what you want to do. Because staying in New York, everybody's going to push your narrative for you
Right.
on what you should be, how you should act. And I didn't want that. Like, I stand strong on my own ground.
Right. So what did you end up eventually doing here? Like
Go to school.
what? Go to school.
Mhm.
And then what else? Like, what do you do professionally?
I sell a lot of houses.
Okay. So
Sell real estate.
you're real estate. Okay.
Yes, I'm a licensed real estate agent.
Okay. So how did you initially get into it? Because you came here with nothing. You had no plans when you came here.
So I know I had plans. I actually did.
okay.
I didn't. Well, I didn't.
Well, your mama pushed you here with no plan.
So like when you know what I mean, like you find out you're moving somewhere and you start saying to yourself like, what are you going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean, or what's out there, or what am I going to make the best out of it? So once I realized that I was actually like going and starting my freshman year in college in Texas, like my plan was to just focus on me and. I didn't have any distractions and make different groups of friends and, be who I really wanted to be. Because in New York, I couldn't really be who I wanted to be because everybody would either make fun of me because that was not cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I moved here, long story short, I don't know. I think I saw Texas had a lot of houses. We don't have houses in New York. We have brownstones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have brownstones. We have condos. We have projects. We got like little raggedy houses.
Yeah,
and
it's
so,
more
like,
compact than because I went to New York and it's real compacted in New York. Like I don't see a lot of land and stuff.
No, it's
in
no,
New
it's,
York.
it's high.
Yeah,
because there's no land.
Right.
So when you can't build out, you build up. You know what I mean? In New York, you have to build up because there's no land to build out. So my school was like 6 or 8 stories. You know what I mean? Like my middle school.
Wow.
Like my elementary school was like 4 or 5 stories. So New York, there is no giant football stadium sized school that's taking up an acre. Like the school's gonna be up.
Yeah,
up
it's high.
You know what I mean? Like your first period class is on the first floor, your second period is on the 10th floor, and then your third period is on the second floor, and then your fourth period is back up on 8. And you like, really? Come on, like why y'all couldn't just put my classes? Let me like gradually go up. But you know what I mean? Like that's how New York was. But yeah. Long story short, I moved out here. Texas had a lot of houses. I remember in like middle school, my mom was wanted to buy a house in Pennsylvania, and we went to the Poconos. And I remember we met a real estate agent. He was a black guy out there, and he was a businessman. I've always liked business. Like I never played sports. I've never liked sports. That's never been anything to do with a ball. Has never been my thing.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like some guys get excited. Like that hasn't been me because I didn't really follow that growing up in New York. You know what I mean? But so we met a guy and like he pulled up. He was a black guy. He pulled up in a Jaguar. I'll never forget because I tell everybody this. And this is like when I was like, oh, what is he doing? Like how he got that? Because I know how other people get stuff.
Right.
And like it was cool to see somebody having that but not doing what I know or what my mind was aware of because that's all I saw in my surroundings. And he pulled up in a Jaguar. At the time, Jaguars were luxury cars.
Right.
I think they're still luxury cars now.
Yeah, they still are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, some people might say, but I think like at that time it was like, Jaguar's a nice car. So he had a Jaguar. He had a nice suit. It was fitted. He had the tie. He had the Rolex. He had the haircut. He had the good skin. And like me and my mom would meet him. He was showing us houses. Like he like gave us a breakthrough the home buying process, getting pre-approved. Took us in this like nice house in the Poconos with like 2 stories, a big backyard. They were like there in the back. Wow. And I was just talking to him. And like he was just telling me what he does. And I was like, I want to be that. I don't know nobody doing that. And literally at the time, I did not know anybody doing that.
Right.
Because in like New York, everybody who didn't own their own business or hustled or trapped or did music or whatever it is, they were city workers. So it was like it's either you fast money or you're creative,
right,
or you a city worker. You know what I mean? And I was like, I've never seen that career field before. I didn't know that was a thing. So when I moved to Texas and I was just like, damn, what do I want to do? I'm an adult now. I'm 18. Mm-hmm. What's a career I could get into? And I really like looked into that because I was like, you know what? Texas has a lot of houses. That's what that guy was doing. And then I found a passion for it and I was following it. And then when I realized like I could work with people, I was my own boss. I could build relationships. I can still dress nice. I can still hang out. I can still be genuine. I can still be popular. Real estate is marketing. The amount of money I was able to make in it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is the career for me.
So you in real estate, killing it down here in Texas.
I don't think I'm killing it.
What?
No.
Are you serious? People say houses not selling right now. And you selling how much worth of houses? You at $4 million right now?
No. No, I sold $13 million for the year so far.
To my no, as if no. So you $13 million already so far?
I sold $4 million this month.
That's what I'm saying.
We're in April. Yes, I sold $4 million in real estate this month, but for the year I've sold $13 million. So I'm projected to sell $5 million in May.
Wow. But houses not selling in Texas right now. That's the
I'm
story I
selling
keep hearing.
I'm selling them.
So what
Anything I put my hand on, I'm
that's
selling.
what I was about to ask you. So what separates you from the rest? Like, what do you do different that you see? I mean, not just see others not doing.
People don't work. Like, seriously, like, I know, like, my broker would always, like, whenever we would have, like, our little, like, meetings or powwows and stuff like that, and he would always just talk about, like, outworking your competition and, like, working your face off and, you know, other real estate agents are lazy and, you know, be the early bird to get the first word.
Mm-hmm.
And real estate agents do not work. I think seriously, I really realized that. So I think that separates me because I actually work. I treat my job like a business. I treat it like a business.
I mean, it is a business.
You know what I mean? It is.
It's a big business.
People don't treat it like that. They treat it as something part-time or something they do on the side or something they do on a spare or when I feel like it. Oh, my client's calling me. I don't feel like answering. Like, oh, somebody want to see a house. I don't feel like showing a house. Oh, it's raining. I don't like driving in the rain.
Right.
I'm not like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think for me, it's like whatever my client wants, I do. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Like, I get up, I call my clients, hi, how are you doing? Just touching base. I will call you. I'll be like, hey, I'm in the car.
Yeah.
I know you text me. I didn't text you back right away. I just want to touch base with you because I'm in the middle of showings. You could text my assistant. If he didn't text you back, I'm going to call you. Here's the run through. We're going through this. Da, da, da. So, like, I treat my business like a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even when I get off of showing houses, I'm at home still texting, still sending emails, still reaching out to other agents, still reaching out to lenders, still reaching out to title. Yo, are we set on track for closing? Because we're supposed to close on this day, which means you're supposed to have your appraisal this day, which means you're supposed to have your clear to close by this date, which means that we need to have the clear, whatever, underwriting needs to approve the file by this date. Do you know what I mean? Because I know I have a seller that has a life. She has money,
right?
You know, to be made by a certain day. When we close on this house, he or she wants to do something with this money, and I want to do something with my money, and this is my business on the line. They hired me, so I got to control the transaction.
Okay.
And a lot of the times, like, I would be calling the other side, like, it's been a week. Why is the appraisal not ordered? Oh, the other agent didn't say anything. Well, listen, I'm telling you, we got to hear from them. I'm telling you to order the appraisal. We're supposed to close in 3 weeks. The appraisal takes a week to get back. We already 1 week in. You need to hurry up and get this appraisal because even now, when you order it, it takes a week for us to get it back. Then you have to go into underwriting. Then you have conditions. You know what I mean? If you don't have it by this time, we're not extending. If we extend, we're charging you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just me.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, I sold your house.
I know.
I sold one of your investment properties. And the same thing. You said less than, as long as the house closed by this day, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even I was calling, I was like, look, it's a delay. It ain't my fault. But I ain't letting
some
them
things are just out of our control. Yeah. So that's why
but
I was
like,
like,
I said, I'm not letting them get away with it because
right,
they knew all this time and they didn't say nothing till the end. Oh, you're going to pay for that. You know, but that's me when I'm representing my client.
Right.
And I think that's what sets me apart. Is like, whoever I'm working with, I go hard for my client. Like, you learn in real estate school to put your client's interests above all, above your own. People don't do that.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
They satisfied. What I see is a lot of them is satisfied with just selling 1 or 2 houses a month.
Because it's a big check.
Yeah.
So they just stretch it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When it's more to be made out here. So I'm gonna ask you a dumb question, and I'm saying it's a dumb question. Have you ever lost a sale?
Of course I have. That's normal.
I can't see that though.
Like, what do you mean by lost a sale?
I mean, like if I gave you my house, have you ever lost a sale? Couldn't sell it or something like that?
I've never not been able to sell a house that I priced.
Okay.
And I wanted to market. And I advised on what we need to do to sell.
And how you market your listing? How you market those, your listings?
So my postcards, I do postcards via, there's a website I do postcards. So I normally, it depends on the price point. Of course, most renters turn into buyers. Mm-hmm. So I spend like $1,000 on marketing and I send it to like apartment complexes nearby. And I show them like, this is what you could get in a house. Are you paying this much in rent? This is how much your mortgage would be. This house is available for sale. I do my open houses. I do my social media videos. I hire a videographer. I get professional photos done. I don't call my cousin or my best friend or somebody I know that's charging me $50 to
Right.
market a listing.
You gotta spend
You know
money
what I mean?
to make
you have
it.
to spend money to make money. So I actually spend a lot of money before I get paid into marketing and listing. So I go and I find a real estate photographer, and if his fee is $200, $250, I pay it. I go and I find a videographer. If his fee is $150, $200, I pay it. I go on social media and I reach out to, you know, people with a large influence, and I say like, hey, you run like a real estate blog, repost my listing. You know what I mean? Hey, you run this like home interior blog, repost my listing. And that's how I work.
Right,
You know
that's
what I
how you
mean? So
work.
a lot of people are like, oh, I see a lot of engagement on your posts. Why I don't get that? I see, I need to think outside the box. It's more than
Right.
just posting and getting off your phone and sitting down.
Yeah.
Like you actually got to go out there and work and market yourself. So yeah, that's what I do.
So your most of your clients is coming from like word of mouth and your marketing tools, right?
Yes, yes, and I have a large book of buyers. like it's like a long
Really?
list. So,
I remember you told me that too. You was
Whenever
like-
I get a listing or I going on a listing presentation, like I actually go to my book of buyers and I'm like, hey, I have a deal I think you'd be interested in. You know, I might get this listing or I already have the listing. I'm representing the seller. Is this something you'd be interested in?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I let the seller know that I know a buyer. I let the buyer know because you have to disclose intermediary.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And when we go on the market, I let them. I show them the house because we're not supposed to show listings
Oh, okay.
before
Okay.
it's on the market. You know what I mean? Like if you have a listing agreement, it's supposed to go on the market within a certain amount of days. If it's not on the market, you can't really be sneaking and showing houses.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm in a situation where I know I'm about to get a listing, but I don't have a listing agreement yet, I will tell a builder, and I'm like, hey, I can't show it. You know what I mean? Because I have to follow the rules, and I follow rules.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, but here's the buyer's info. Here's the seller's info, the builder's info. Y'all connect. You know what? I'm going to have a buyer sign a buyer's rep so that I'm going to make sure that my commission is covered and y'all don't try to exclude me out of the sale. Right. So the buyer knows that, you know what I mean? And the builder, I'll let him know, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still getting this because this is going to be my listing. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring you a buyer. You know, you're still going to pay me my 6%,
Right.
even though we don't go on the market. You know what I mean? But I have a buyer for your listing, you know, and we go about that. So, yeah, a lot of my deals I end up selling before it goes on the market
Yes.
or as soon as it goes on the market.
As soon as it go live.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, go look at it, go look at it, go look at it.
Right. So what's the hardest part about being a real estate agent? What's the hardest part? I know you work.
Dealing with so many different personalities. Dealing with people who are lazy. Not talking about clients.
Right.
I'm talking about other business professionals who are lazy. You know, and you want to do your job more than they want to do their job. Or everybody want to be like a king negotiator. Or everybody want to be like the agents on the other side, they're just extremely difficult for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to get this house sold. Mm-hmm. Your client wants to get this house sold. Let's get it done.
Right.
I'm giving you what you want. Give my client what they want. Let's get to the closing line or the finish line, close this deal, and go about our day. Why you want to argue with me about some stupid? You know what I mean? You know your client's house is falling apart. We get that. I'm bringing you a full price offer. Fix these items, full price. Now, for what? It's not that big of a deal. We're giving you a full price offer. You know what I mean? Fix it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do this. Okay, we're backing out now. Okay, then you come back. Please come back to the house. No, we're not coming back because we try to work with you.
Right.
And now you put a bad taste in my mouth and the client's mouth because you wanted to nitpick every little thing when it's stuff that's clearly defects,
Right.
you know, with the home. Or if something's overpriced, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we like this listing. We think it's a little overpriced. Where are your comps? There are no comps. So how did you come up with this price? That's what we feel like it's worth. Well, it's not worth that. Who are you to say that? It's me and the market. It's been on the market for 64 days, 110 days. It's not worth that price. Y'all have not done a price drop yet, or you've done 4 price drops. You finally have a buyer, and you still want to be difficult. Like, I'm the type, when I have a listing, and we've been on the market for a while because the seller wants to overprice it, or it's on a bad street, or has a bad neighbor, or has a weird layout. When we finally find that buyer that likes this house, we're like, oh, shit, you're one and none.
Right.
Let's give you this house.
Yeah.
What you want to get it. You know what I mean? And I tell my clients that. I'm like, this buyer right here, they want this house. We haven't had a serious buyer like this in months. We've had showings, but this person wants to write a contract. We cannot let them leave. Other agents want to sit here and fight to prove that they are something that they're not, and mess up the whole deal.
Mess up the whole damn deal. That's
so
crazy.
I think that's the tough part, is really not being able to control transactions. People are not as knowledgeable, and just dealing with different personalities. Yeah, I think that's the tough part.
Yeah, that sounds tough.
Yeah,
going back and forth and doing all that. What would you want to do if real estate was an option? What's some of the other things that you would? Nothing, because you don't want to play football or do no stuff. You already said all that.
I don't like to get hurt. I don't like to get hit. I don't like to get punched. I don't like to get tapped. I don't even like, I made a post the other day. I don't even like when people hit me when they laughing. Like, get off of me. Why are you tapping my shoulder? Like,
that's what black people do.
And I hate it. Like, stop touching me to laugh. Laugh on your own. And see, as soon as I see you pick that hand up, I'm ducking and moving. And it be some people, they will really chase you until they actually stop touching me.
Man, you know I hate that.
Seriously, I don't like body contact. I think that's the only reason why I don't like sports. I like the mind game of sports. I like the competitiveness, but I don't like the body contact, the touching of it. What would I do?
Wow.
I would have liked to be a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not smart enough.
It's still the same field or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You still be in contact with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a Johnny Cochran.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Lord. No, you want to be up there.
Yes. Like,
you don't be playing no games.
I aspire to be the best at what I do. But I would want to be like a top defense attorney. You know what I mean? Like, just winning cases. Okay. You know what I mean? And they just like, yo, I need an attorney. Coalesce, you know what I mean?
Mr. Stacks.
Call Mr. Stacks, you know what I mean? And you meet me in my office, I'm suited and booted, I'm arguing for you. Basically what I do. Okay. But in a more, I guess,
that'll be more
higher level.
Yeah,
more of a prestigious level, you know. But I think I would love to be a lawyer, but I'm not smart enough to be a lawyer.
Okay. So I want to ask you, because I kind of dedicate in part of the show to the youth, right? And so I always tell people we struggling with the kids and stuff like that or whatever. And I know I got little cousins that want to be real estate agents and stuff too. What type of advice can you give them? Like, if they trying to fold back on themselves, like doubting themselves and scared to push forward.
Advice to give youth wanting to do that. I get messages on Instagram all the time about that. Honestly, I always tell a lot of, like, when people write me, I'm like, change your image. Like, your image is everything. You know what I mean? And I was telling my mom that because she doesn't like the way I dress, so I carry myself now from, like, how I was raised. Because I grew up in the hood. But I grew up in the hood, so, like, wearing fitted pants is, like, not her thing. Why are your pants so fitted? Why are they so tight? Go get you some loose pants. Your pants shouldn't be showing your legs. Like, why is your shirt fitted where I can see your chest?
How many kids your mama have?
3, but she's very old school.
Okay.
And she's from the Caribbean.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, she's West Indian. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. So, like, a man is supposed to be, like, grungy, construction, carpenter, police, army. You know what I mean? Like, a man, that's a man to her.
Right.
A man is not this. A man is a field worker out. You know, you're Mexican, right? Yes. You know, like, is your dad more like that? Yes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, more be good with your hands. Be trade. Have a trade. Like, go fix an AC. Go get on the roof. Like, you know, like they said, we got enough rappers. We need more house builders and plumbers and electricians. Like, my mom, like, that's what a man is to her. So, you know, her seeing me now in my success, she understands it.
Okay.
And she loves it.
Yeah.
But at first, she didn't.
She didn't understand.
No. Because she thought, like, real estate agents, it was like a female job. Like, oh, that's what females do. Like, they get all dressed up and look pretty and sell houses. Men don't sell houses.
No, that's not true.
And I was like, huh? What? You know what I mean? Or what she said, if men sell houses, they do it on the side. You know what I mean? Which a lot of people do. I don't. This is my full-time job. Right. But, you know, she's like, oh, you could do that on the side. And I was like, nah, I'm doing this full-time.
Somebody on the side. Yeah. It's some money in that real estate.
Oh, sorry. I was supposed to give kids youth. Change your image. You know what I mean? Like, you're dealing with people. And I had to realize that I had to soften up my look to appeal to the masses.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I had to smile more. I had to wear brighter colors. I had to wear different clothes. I had to drive certain cars. My appearance had to be a certain way. I had to be better at holding conversations
Right.
with strangers. I had to not be afraid of certain races. You know what I mean? Because growing up, wherever you at, I mean, unless you grow up in I grew up in New York, so New York is very diverse. But and I'm not speaking for myself on this aspect. I'm speaking of the youth here in Texas.
Right.
We're South is primarily black.
Yeah.
You know, more North. Some parts of North might be primarily white. Some parts might be Asian. Some parts, you know what I mean? New York was not like that. It was a melting pot. But I know I would have friends, I would meet people that don't know how to speak to other races. You know what I mean? They don't know how to interact with a white person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or they don't know how to interact with a Indian person or Asian person. And I'm like, talk to them. They're normal people. Just talk.
Talk to him. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Talk about football. Talk about sports. Talk about their shoes. You know what I mean? I think I'll say that. You have to learn to find, be relatable to a lot of people. And you know what I mean? If you keep this image of I want to be tough, right. I want to be this, I want to, that's who you're going to relate to. So there's no way you're going to be able to relate to these other people who don't look up to that toughness, gangsterness,
right.
I got it, money ain't nothing type
They got
of
to
person.
change that
They got to
image
change
of
that
themselves.
image, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want people to want to help you,
right.
You know what I mean? Or to be able to work with you or feel like you're relatable or humble,
right?
You know what I mean? So I think that would be my advice.
Good. That's good.
Don't be so in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be that in a transaction, but
right.
not with your client.
Not with your
client.
client.
I learned when I meet each client, I'm serious. I feel like I'm a chameleon. I would meet one client if I feel like I'm not even a client. If I'm meeting a customer, and I feel like they're being difficult, then I have to adjust myself to prepare to deal with their difficultness. You know what I mean? And if I feel like I'm doing
so you just don't turn them away. You still try to. You still try.
You have to stand your ground.
Right.
It's sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to have some people that come, you know what I mean, at you. Even at my open houses, I have people that come in sometimes and, they don't want to sign in or they don't want to talk to me. They just want to see the house. And I find it and they're like, no, I'm not signing in. And I'm like, oh, okay.
How do you prepare for those, the open houses? How do you prepare for that? Do you have, because I see that on TV, where they be bringing food in and just, you know what I'm saying, balloons out.
Balloons, the balloons is a standard, flyers, marketing materials, stuff about the neighborhood, upgrades, stuff about the house. I run in the 100-degree sun, playing cat dog in the road. Putting signs, stomping on it, open house.
So you hands on.
Yeah. Cookies, crackers, assorted packs. The food and stuff like that, I think that's very TV.
Very TV.
The only time it really, really works, I feel like, is if you feel like you have a hot listing in a specific area where you know that either this house is going to have multiple offers or it's going to have a ton of, feedback or big turnout. But normally a open house is to open the house up to the public so that people can see it during a specific time frame. I've had open houses where I've done fruit platters or little sandwiches, little sliders and stuff like that. But you don't really see that all the time, like the champagne and wine. And
them $1 million listings, right?
Not even that, because you can do that in $1 million listing and nobody will show up.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So that's what I said. It's a very specific listing, because you could do that. What's the point of doing $1 million listing for 3 people to come by?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have to know, as an agent, you have to know the area, the market, the demographic, the listing, if it's overpriced, if it's underpriced, if it's going to be a big turnout, if you get a listing in this city on this street, there are people waiting. Right. You know what I mean? Homes on this street selling 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Yes, do an open house, a grand open house. You'll have a big turnout.
I don't even think you got to an open house with the one you helped me sell, right?
No, we did.
Did you?
Yes, of course. I do open house on all my listings.
Because it went live, and I think we had offers
Remember I
before
told
24 hours.
Remember I told you something with the AC?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did open house. I did open house.
Okay.
I always do open house.
Okay.
So I think we went live like Wednesday or something like that.
Right.
And then I did the open house Saturday. One of my assistants did it Sunday. And then we got the list. We got the offer, but we was like, let's wait for the open house and stuff like that. But yeah.
So you can help people buy and sell homes. So I want you to. This is where I want you to look into the camera and tell them how can they contact you, social media, however you want them to contact you.
You can contact me on my Instagram, on Twitter. That's where I'm at the most. At I am Lestacks, IAMLE Stacks. There's only one page I have. Please ignore the 1,800 fake pages.
Oh, my God. It's so many.
Yes, the Bitcoin pages.
And they be in your inbox saying,
yes.
hey, you didn't say nothing else to me. I'm like, because you ain't him.
They be tagging y'all
Man,
too.
they be going crazy.
Tag y'all. My clients be like, you have a new page? I'm like, no. They be like, you just
They
tagged.
are
like, that's not
on
me.
you.
Yeah, they be,
and it's
they
just
be
the haters.
I know, yes.
And right in your face haters.
Yes, I know.
You'll never know.
That's
but they
what
be
people
right
are
in your
telling me.
face
They
haters.
said, that's somebody you know.
Exactly.
But yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Less Than You Stash. But yeah, contact me 347-397-8016 or Google me. All my contact info's on Google.
Okay. And I'll make sure we put that up as well. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on with me today. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to start this project. We ain't going to let that cat out the bag yet. But
that's exciting. I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah, so we'll get together on that. But I thank you for coming on.
Thank
and
you.
thank all my listeners for tuning in, and we out.